So, you're curious about New York's new panic button law, huh? This RWSA thing, right?
Mm.
Well, get this. It's not just about slapping a button on the wall and calling it a day.
Oh, no, not at all. This law is actually pushing businesses to get really creative with technology. It's fascinating because, you see, it's not about having a button. It's about what happens the instant someone presses it.
Right. Imagine, like, you're working late at a convenience store and suddenly something happens, you need help, like right now. You hit that panic button. But instead of just a siren blaring, you've actually triggered this whole chain reaction. And at the heart of it all is something called an API.
APIs are like, think of them as digital messengers, right? They allow all these different systems to talk to each other instantly and seamlessly.
It's like, boom, the starting gun at a relay race. You hit that button, and the API takes off running, carrying critical information to different places at the same time.
Exactly. In this case, that API would immediately send an alert to 911 with the store's exact location, maybe a message like robbery in progress. And the cool part is, even 911 dispatch centers, which you think of as, people frantically writing on paper, they're using sophisticated systems now that can actually receive and process this data directly thanks to these APIs.
It's so much more than just a faster 911 call, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
At the same time that 911 is getting that alert, that same API can be triggering an alert to a system like Simplified alerts. Have you heard of them?
Oh, absolutely. Simplified alerts, they're doing some really interesting stuff with this technology.
So instead of just a generic help message, imagine you're the store manager and you get a text on your phone that says exactly what's happening, where, what type of alert, and boom, you've got a record of it.
Right. It's like ordering food online. You get the confirmation, a timestamp, and it creates this digital paper trail.
Which is not only efficient, but also, think about it, it's crucial for investigations, insurance claims later on. It adds this whole other layer of security and accountability.
And, this is where it gets really interesting. Because instead of somebody, relaying that information over the phone,
Which, let's be honest,
which can lead to mistakes, absolutely.
so many things can go wrong.
That data, it goes straight from that panic button to the dispatcher's screen.
I love that. No more like frantic scribbling or trying to understand what the person's saying. It's just clear, accurate information, and it gets there in time, which is, let's be real,
The most important thing.
the name of the game.
Absolutely.
But, the great thing is, it's not just about speed.
No, it's so much more than that.
Right. It's precision, too. Imagine a huge department store, right? Multiple floors, 1 million departments. You hit that button, the API can pinpoint your location, like exactly where you are within that building.
Oh, 100%. And that's huge.
Think about trying to explain that over the phone if you're panicked.
Oh, my gosh. I'm on the 3rd floor near the, what is that section called again?
Exactly. And because it's all automated, it just takes out that human error element.
Exactly. And, some systems, they're even designed to prevent those accidental, oops, wrong button moments.
Oh, smart.
They build in these verification steps.
I like that.
So, for example, some systems might send like a quick verification text to the manager's phone.
Right.
Like, hey, is this real? And once they confirm, yes, there's an actual issue, then the full alert, that goes out to the police. So it just adds that layer of control, prevents any false alarms from,
Causing chaos.
Exactly.
And what's really cool? It's not just a one-way alert system. Some of these APIs, they actually allow for two-way communication.
Yeah, it becomes this whole conversation, really.
That's amazing.
Right. So let's say the police, they're on their way to that department store.
Okay.
They can actually use that same system to message, like the employee who hit that button.
Directly. Wow.
Directly. Can you see the suspect? Or what's the safest way for us to approach? Things like that.
Wow. So you're not just sending out a flare, you're part of this whole coordinated response in real time.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this technology so powerful. But, it's funny because we're talking about panic buttons, but this whole API-driven communication, it has so many applications beyond retail.
Oh, absolutely. Think about hospitals, right? You could have doctors getting instant alerts about a patient's vitals, or schools being able to quietly notify staff about a security issue without,
Causing a panic.
It's exact.
The possibilities, they're huge. I mean, we're just scratching the surface here.
It's really incredible to think about.
It all comes down to, how do we use these digital tools, these APIs, to communicate more effectively, more intelligently?
Yeah, to really keep everyone in the loop when it matters most. So I guess the takeaway for our listeners is the next time you hear about a panic button, remember it's not just about a button on the wall, it's about this whole network, this invisible web of technology that's working behind the scenes to keep people safe, to keep people informed. And it really makes you wonder what other everyday objects will be transformed by this kind of seamless, intelligent communication in the future. Something to think about.